Definitely could be a worrying affair for them if they don't come out and play their hardest and their damnedest immediately from the get-go. We get into the ban phase, of course. MIBR on defense, Santos on attack.
Shields going by the wayside once again. Poor Montana. His ban rate has gone through the roof in the last couple of play days. I think we saw him consistently banned out of all 3 games on the previous play day that we saw on Thursday. We've seen it a couple of times tonight as well. So he's going to go along with Thatcher, who already has a high ban rate. Not too much of a surprise. Very powerful, even after his nerf. For anybody who doesn't know, he has seen a little bit of a nerf in the most recent operation to launch, Shadow Legacy. The nerf being that he doesn't destroy electronic gadgets anymore. He just disables them, as he always did with some of them. Things like a Maestro cam was only disabled for a period of time, 20 seconds, I think it was. That's been extended to all electronic gadgets now. But interestingly, it's had a little bit of a knock-on effect in different ways. The Bandit batteries now remain on the wall. So whereas previously when destroyed, you could apply another Bandit battery to try for the trick, you can't do that because you can't put 2 Bandit batteries on the same wall. So it has just mixed things up a little bit and changed, but his ban rate hasn't been mixed up at all, and it remains as high as it has been recently.
Okay. Rightio then. Here we are. Everything laid out in front of us. Obviously, one final time tonight as well, just whilst we go into the last series. Might as well give the update for anyone that might not have seen the tweet. Obviously, Echo has been taken out of play at the minute whilst they resolve the issues that are around him with the bugs surrounding the Yokai drone. So he isn't going to be put into the mix again. So that's why I won't see him banned out or being picked at all in this last best of 2 for anyone that wasn't up to date with what was going down there in the global scene of Rainbow Six Esports. Talking of which, we are ready to kick this off now as we head in for the first round of the first map between MIBR and Santos. Let's see if Santos will come out swinging on their attacking half. Initially for me, taking a look at what we got to play with here, obviously Cypress on the Ash. He can be a player that can be very, very explosive. You also got Mighty as well. Mighty's been making more of a name for himself, I think, over the course of Stage 2, Tim. We've seen a lot of explosive plays from him.
Yeah, Mighty's really stepped up. He certainly is showing that he can be not only mighty by name, but mighty by nature. So far, 52 and 50, plus 2 on the kills. So 1.04 KD. Not amazing, but not terrible. The important thing there is the 52, the number that he has put down. If he could reduce his deaths a little bit, that'd be fantastic for his team. But that's not really what they need from him. They need him to be racking up those kills. And particularly on the entry jacket, it might come as a bit of a surprise. 13 and 5. So he's plus 8 overall, doing very well on the entry. And that's putting Santos on that front foot. What they need to do is have everybody follow that up and make sure they get in those rounds on the board when they do get that early advantage.
That's lovely. That's some really big statistics to play with. Good numbers that have been put up. Talking of disappointing numbers, though, for Santos, they've only received 14% of the fan vote with a poll we just ran in Twitch chat. 77% going in favour of Made in Brazil. So MIBR definitely going to be the preferred side, it seems, from the community, Tim, walking into this one.
It's not a huge surprise, I think that is fair to say, but I said this against Furia. If you remember, Furia had a huge percentage of the vote as well against Santos, and I said it at the time, don't sleep on Santos. They are a very capable team, and they are showing some great growth so far inside of BR6, and I am certain that that will continue from them. So where on the face of it, yes, you could look at this and say it's a one-sided affair, and if it were to be, 14-3 or something overall across the 2 maps, it wouldn't be a huge surprise, but at the same time, don't bank on it, don't count on it, and don't expect it, because Santos, I am pretty sure, are going to make more of a game of it than that.
Oh, all right, well, the only man that's going to be sleeping right now, Tim, is Cameraman, but Cyber replying back, shuts down Rise, making him, instead look a little bit more deflated. Bullet coming in through the sideline swipe, though, through the vault onto Cypress. Guns for the second as well. Twisting and turning. He's hitting his shots, but it's a close range peek from Wag with the AK, and he's going to slay him. This round does not stop with the action, though. Back after back, frag after frag. We're down to 60 seconds in a 2-on-2. Souls and M King, the only remaining members of MIBR. Santos left with Wag and Scardina, Zofia and Ace. So you have the hard breaching potential. You've got the utility on the Zofia as well. As you can see, she still has a lot of those grenade launching shells left to play with. The concussion shells and the explosive one of them in reserve, Tim. So they have all the tools to potentially bring this back to win this round.
So far, it feels like I've been hit in the face with an airbag coming into this game, Jackie. It's absolute breakneck speed. I think it's going to leave me with whiplash if it continues at this pace. So much battling and dueling going on up on that top floor. And as we can see, the Selma device has been unsuccessful. M-King wasn't unsuccessful, however, as he takes on the double challenge at the armory door, and he shuts down both remaining Santos players in quick succession, one after another. We can see Wag there just trying to change things up, coming in on the crouch, trying to change his level to the man that he'd just seen cut down before him, but it was unsuccessful. M-King was ready for it. He could challenge at any level, and does so, taking the first round. Church and Arsenal on the board successfully for MIBR, but Santos showing they are fighting, and they are here to get what they can from this game.
Right. Madness there. Put some of those clips on camera as well. Some lovely frags that we got to witness there as well, especially from the Mozzie. The quick reaction times, the flicks back and forth. That was beautiful play. Beautiful, beautiful play. Great opening round. A lot of aggression, a lot of confidence. We're seeing the best of both teams coming into this one, at least, Tim, which bodes well, right? We want the closest, most competitive series we can get out of these two teams. And for a round to go down to the wire like that, being decided in a 2 versus 2, that is the pinnacle. That's ideal. MIBR, though, getting the better outcome. They walk away with 1 round already in the bank on their defensive side, and they're going to be banking on getting a few more. Sticking to their guns in terms of the majority of operator picks as well. Bullet back over on Malusi, 2 frags to his name, bringing those Banshees out.
Heading to gym and bedroom them, Santos. We've seen them attack this site once, we've seen them win it once, so not necessarily a information for us to go on, but it certainly suggests that success is a possibility for Santos in the gym and bedroom attack. Importantly, they're going to have to clear out the cache and CCTV side of things to begin with, because it looks like there is a bit of an extended hold coming in from MIBR over there. Cyber and Bullet particularly getting themselves established. And the danger with anybody wondering why that area is important, it is particularly the single window inside of CCTV. From there, you can peek onto the line of windows that go directly onto site. So gym and bedroom both have windows, and there's a bit of a balcony, if you will. It's actually a half roof you can get up on top of, and you can use those windows directly into site. But whilst CCTV is still in the control of the defenders, the window that's just being looked at there, you can't really risk that, because they can just be hit time and time again from that window, and that's why we tend to see the hold extended in that direction.
Okay, nearly 2 minutes remaining. On to the second round. No frags yet. No one being torn to shreds and left dropped down on the cold, hard ground. Slower round coming out from Santos in terms of the way they're slowly making their advances. Obviously, drones into some very effective, annoying angles as well. They can creep them into those little nooks and crannies and have a constant read throughout the round if they're not spotted out. One of them will be, though, up towards the bar, and that will be removed from play, leaving us with 1 minute and 30 and still an overall stalemate in terms of the aggression. 5 alive on either side, but map control being taken. A good job to tear down that hard breach, get the reinforcement taken out, and give yourself a pathway towards success. Cameraman could be in quite a naughty angle, though. If they push up, he's got the potential to either swing out or hold and catch them on the rotate. We do see the first frags found, though, over on the Finca. Cyprus will get one, but Cyber bites back, leading it into a 4 versus 4 now with 60 seconds remaining, Tim.
Cyprus able to take one to the grave with him, managing to open things up, but I think Cyber already had him in his sights at that point, and the bullets had no doubt flown and were in the air and on the way, and there was nothing that the Finca could do. Now in comes MIBR on their own. Bullet and Cameraman getting one apiece onto Scardinia and Mighty, so that leaves us 4 versus 2, and it is not looking good for Santos on the attack at this stage. Wag's going to open things up on the hot tub wall with those Ace Selma gadgets, but with men still inside of CCTV, you could see there MIBR just thinking about having the peak along the window line, but Wag, he looks to push anyway. Needs to be careful as the Nitro comes out. He has backed away, and that's an unfortunate throw that's just going to hit those steel joists running through the floor. And how about that for a shot from Rise? Finding the gap, threading the eye of a needle with a headshot onto cameraman. 13 seconds, and Santos, they are going to need to think about getting this diffuser down soon. The clock is ticking away. Wag is taking damage. Rise gets himself a second great kill on the round. 2-2, and Wag starts to get the diffuser down. Out goes the smoke grenade, but Cyber, he must have had a tracking chip on him there. He knew exactly where he was. Just went straight into the absolute center of that smoke canister and just went with the melee hit. Took the man down and closed out the round for MIBR. Santos, they almost looked good for it at a point towards the end there, Jacket.
Oh, mate, that's so unfortunate. The diffuser so close to going down, but Butcher Pete running in with the blade, chopping that meat, and leaves him cut in half. Just a steamed ham in place of where his body was, attempting to get that diffuser down, Tim. 2-0 now for the defensive side of MIBR. Looking pretty effective coming into this game. Keeping it close, keeping it competitive, and when things do start to go a bit south, they quickly bring it back in the late round and shut it down. Again, another tight ending as well. Not as cleanly cut as perhaps you would have expected coming into a game like this, but they are still getting rounds. Now, moving over as well, right? This is where garage control, in my mind, is going to be so pivotal. I'm looking early on towards M King and, of course, Bullet. Two players on operators that thrive towards garage. You can do so much in burning control with those ADSs and the 1Y magnets to suck up every last inch and ounce of utility that is thrown in there. So by the time Santos are confident enough to push in to have that access point towards the site, they don't have much to work with, let alone any time.
As you say, Garage Catwalk particularly important for this site, especially where a push is trying to come through the east wall breach, which I'm sure we will see happen. The east wall being breached at least, I would expect. Generally speaking, you need to get control of Garage to allow you to get the angles and the crossfires needed to completely shut down CCTV. That then enables you to move in. You need a man underneath in lounge as well to prevent any vertical denial from a Nitro, but what you're looking to do is get a player in from Garage behind the server stack to get the diffuser down and activated, and that's why the Garage Catwalk is so important, because obviously you can't get a player into that location if there is a defender still active on the Garage Catwalk. But it can be a difficult place to clear out, as you say, Jackie, with the WAMI magnets, the ADSs, sometimes deployable shields. It becomes very, very tough to move the man, and that's why quite often we'll see a split attack with pressure being applied from this side of the site, which is through bedroom into construction to try and open up the wall on the other side. And when you try to do that, you're basically removing all rotations or movement within the site and making it very difficult for the defenders to wiggle around in there.
Okay. No casualties yet. Again, shaping up similarly to what we saw back on the second round in terms of the pace that is being displayed by Santos. They won't really rush things. They will try and slowly gain map control, drone out for clear-cut information, so you don't face check anything, you don't run any unnecessary risks. Long-range setup as well. Obviously from Scardenia with quite a distance. He's got the scope to back it up. He can be holding that angle. If there is any push, especially if they get that diffuser down, he's got a prime position to watch it from, as long as they play the post plant for him. It all depends on the placement of the diffuser, and that is a big if as well. They have to still get onto site to actually be able to crack that briefcase open and begin their round. 50 seconds left now, Tim, as time is starting to tick down. It's still a 5v5, and there hasn't been a frag marked up on the board yet. Wag slowly pushing in. Selma devices going out. That will give them another line of sight straight into the bomb site, but they have to hit their shots. They need to do something bold soon, or they're going to be walking into a 5 versus 4 effectively because of the positional play of Scardina.
No push from the east side here from Santos is certainly interesting. It's going to allow MIBR to focus their defence completely on one side. We can see, I think, Scardina just moving around. They have got the breach open, but there's been no pressure applied. Scardina finally getting himself on the rappel, but it's going to be too little too late. As Souls and Bullets come in with big headshots. MIBR finding shots left, right and centre. Flawless round for them. And Santos, I think, it was a bit too one-directional. It was started on the east side. They got that open, but then they pretty much all rotated to try and deal with construction, got themselves in, opened that side, and then by the time Scardina was able to move around, get on that rappel onto the half roof, it was just Too little, too late, and the kills were already raining in for MIBR, but they were unflappable in that situation. Headshot after headshot raining in, and MIBR Jackie answering the questions I asked at the beginning of this one. They are looking just as terrifying as they did in Playday number 1. I cannot wait to see this MIBR team go up against Liquid, NIP, Team 1. Cannot wait for it.
Oh, mate, it's going to be spicy. It's going to be crazy. You're right, though. In terms of that round, it's a bit crazy, right? Because it felt like you could see the setup they were trying to go for. You could see the idea behind it. Scardini was in a position as well where if you wanted to leave him there in the late round and you did take control, you get the diffuser down, you try and go for a bold move. He's got a crazy post-plant angle where you're not really going to be forcing him out. He'd probably get the first frag for free. He can rotate in then to back up the other players. There was a lot. It was set up for a good late round crossfire. But then they kind of just went against the idea of the execution. It seemed like they were going for second-guessed themselves last minute and tried to go for a different play. He's then had to rotate the entire way over. So they've started a fight 4 versus 5, then just suffered casualties. I don't know. It all fell to bits. It seemed like there was an idea initially, Tim, but they decided against it and weren't ready for that backup plan. It felt like it was game plan A, and then last minute, we need to change this, and it just wasn't ideal.
Yeah, a bit of indecision creeping in, I think, and that's something that we saw out of Santos on Theme Park against Team Liquid. They were going in with Plan A, and then when they met resistance to that, there wasn't really a clear idea to quickly rotate onto another option, and that's maybe something that Santos can look at developing in future, is just being able to more speedily say, actually, this isn't working, this is working, let's adjust in this way mid-round. Mighty, however, will adjust the cut of cameraman's jib at this point, as he will shut him down with a headshot, and that is going to be 5 versus 4 with an early round opener for Mighty. Once again coming through on that entry, as I said, very, very capable, showing himself to be a great entry fragger here in stage 2.
Talking of 2, nearly 2 minutes left into round 4 now. Slow and steady from Santos, bit by bit, trying to build off the fact they got an early frag, but talking of frags, there we go. Nitro getting dashed out by a bullet. The bouncer himself blowing Scardini at the pieces. No chance for that Zofia to get back up. No down but out for you. Completely just out of the round. And time still on their side. There is an opportunity here for Santos to pick themselves back up and head down towards that lower site, open up their opportunities. They need to decide what they want to do, though. In terms of hard breaching, you've still got 2 of them alive and kicking. You've got your ace, you've got your maverick. You can open up the hatches, you can go for a 3-pronged attack down the stairway if they calculate it, but they need to speed things up, Tim. Cypress going in first on the Ash, looking to get another pick back in their favor. Will that work out, though?
It certainly feels like the site that I think Santos were closest to winning back in round 1. Of course, it came down to that final 2 versus 2, and they've done well this time. They've cleared out that top floor roam quite quickly and left themselves plenty of time for aggressing onto site. There's still a minute left on the clock. We can see bullets flying left, right and centre. Mighty, however, has taken some damage there, so needs to be careful. And at 4 versus 4, whilst there is plenty of time on the clock, it's getting to that point where Santos need to be aware of it. They don't have any control over site at this point. They don't have the hard breach applied to Church Wall. Ace now has come down. Wag is in position to be able to do so. Out comes the smoke grenades. Prevent a challenge coming in from blue, and Mighty hiding in the corner. Emkin completely unaware of his location. The kills start raining in. It's going to take miracles from MIBR at this point. Damage raining in left, right and centre. Cyber does what he can to slow things down, but Cypress, he's in a position to get the diffuser down. They're about to lose another man as he approaches the soft wall. Cyber is downed and out as Mighty finishes him off. Souls, low health and a dream at this stage. About 20 HP left on the board. He would be lucky to take any more than 1 bullet. There's a man on main stairs. Shuli is aware. Goes for the headshot, but Rise will beat him to it. And that's going to be the first round on the board for Santos. And not a moment too soon as they find themselves 3-0 down coming into that one. But that brings them 1 step closer to a 3-all half. And they are 3-1 on the scoreboard now.
Okay. All right. That's ideal. That's better. They're starting to find a bit of success, and obviously getting that round in now is the dream. Otherwise, it would have been a 4-round lead already with nothing on the board for Santos. But it comes a little bit late in the grand scheme of the game. And that's what worries me. You've already given up 3 rounds. What's to say there won't be another one thrown into the mix somewhere? Probably looking like it almost likely be a 4-2 split now towards the end of the half, Tim. It's how it feels like it's starting to go on Clubhouse. And at that point, Santos, is their defense going to be flawless enough to contend with that sort of scoreline, Tim?
Well, the thing is, MIBR need to have a stronger top floor hold this time around. They were cleared out far too easily by Santos there. You know, talking about strength of defences, they need to hold on to that top floor, because otherwise Santos could take another round off them here, and then all of a sudden, as you say, it's then 2-4 at worst, and Santos start coming in thinking, this is doable on defence on Clubhouse. There's a couple of good defensive sites at least, and maybe we can manage that. So for me, in the difference between those two rounds, round 1, round 4, that's where we've seen Church and Arsenal. Round 1, if you remember, it was an absolute brawl on the top floor. There were punches flying left, right and centre. It was like a terrible bar fight, Jackie. You know, the old cowboy films where you just see like punches left, right and centre, tables going through windows. Oh, yeah. It was all going on the top floor. It was a real Royal Rumble up there. But nobody really came out with any strong advantage, apart from the fact that MIBR had wasted a lot of time up there. And the clearance of the top floor was just too costly for Santos, ultimately. And in round 4, by contrast, they cleared top floor for free. They didn't lose any men, I don't think, or it was maybe 4 versus 4. I think they lost 1 up there, but Mighty got the entry anyway. So they didn't lose a load of manpower up there, and they were on the mid floor, opening up the hatches with 1.5 minutes left to go. Now they're going for a quick rush here. This could be a mistake against an MIBR team who are no strangers to a rush. They are well aware of it, and 2 men are lost very quickly as they try to fold themselves into the breach. However, Rise gets into sight and will get souls, but not while Cameraman gets Mighty, and that is now 3 versus 2. Cyber shuts down Cyprus on site. It's all gone south for the rush of Santos. I feel like that was a big risk. It was a big throw of the dice, a huge gamble at this point in the game. It now gives 4-1 to MIBR on the scoreboard. Can't hit a kidder, Jackie. And that's exactly what they just tried to do.
Oh, mate, that round went so far south so quickly. We've somehow ended up in Louisiana at this point. That was such a decline in seconds. You could see them trying to switch up the pace, trying to go for something bold, brash, with a lot of confidence to it, but the false confidence did not help them. Charge in, and all they do is meet their demise in record time. 4-1. And that's the sign of this being a 4-2 split is now looking a little bit more shaky potentially here. That round's already been given up. You have one last chance here into your attacking half for Santos. In the past, Cyprus has been very good on the opening on attack. We've normally seen them consistently being able to get something going for the side with entry frags. Mighty going for a bit of a cheeky, quick switch towards the end on the 6 pick, coming off of Buck, back onto Buck to try and play the illusion of a big play, but in reality, just keeping them guessing.
It's all the mind games, just trying to wrong foot MIBR, have them thinking maybe they're facing up to something that they're not. But I don't think, honestly, that MIBR are going to be concerned whatsoever about what the composition of Santos's lineup is right now, because at this point in time, they're just no major threat to them. They haven't really been able to impact on into this game and get themselves established. And hopefully for Santos, they can find a second win. They can come out here and they can just build that energy back and get themselves back into the second half of Clubhouse. But right now, they need to change up their attack on CCTV here in round 6. We commented how they got the east wall open and then pretty much abandoned that side. I think maybe we didn't really see too much of any attempt of a push onto Garage. I don't know if they did attempt it or not, but if they did, maybe they just found that it was a bit of a roadblock and they thought we just need to push towards construction. But one way or another, it allowed MIBR to focus all their attention in one direction far too much of the time, and they took full advantage of that. So Santos, if they want to see some success here, they need to get that multi-pronged attack. They need to try and get control of Garage, push into construction as well, and just really make MIBR think. Don't allow them to be comfortable on site.
Okay, Santos, this is it. It's your last big one. Let's see if it's going to be make or break for them. If MIBR are going to be the ones towering over the corpses at the end of this round. So far, slow and steady, of course, from Santos. Quick work, though, when it comes to the Maverick play. That was actually relatively speedy. They've got it down with still 2 minutes left on the clock, so top marks for that. We still need to get control in other areas, though. Open up towards Garage. Give yourself those access points to keep MIBR guessing rather than just funneling through all in the same hole that could eventually turn into a murder hole quite quickly, as the angle is being watched. Souls is sat there honed into position. M-King gets the chance to come out and play as well over towards Garage, but Bullet will pipe up first. 3 of them there. Bullet with a second. Wide swing going up, but it's not going to land for M-King. Doesn't matter, as they've already found 2 frags into the round. This puts Santos into quite a sticky predicament. 3 versus 5 with 1 minute and 25 seconds left. The desperation will certainly start to kick in.
They're in the quagmire now, and they just need to start trying to find a way out of it one step at a time. 1 minute 15, so time is still on their side. It's not too much of a problem, but that is a big problem as Cyber gets the outer kill onto Rise. Can't get himself a second out of bar, but he won't mind that at all. Wag gets in and trades out, but still 4 versus 2, and Wag takes a lot of damage in doing so. Right now, less than half health. We've got 4 defenders able to play on site, but how about this from Bullet? He's just dropped down the main stairs. He's racing through bar. He's had the call out of exactly where these remaining Santos players are, and he's trying to find them now. Then going to drop down. It's sort of play and counterplay here. We've had somebody drop down to the basement level from Santos. Are they going to pop up behind Bullet? Not quickly enough, as he finds Scardinia and takes the headshot, and that now leaves us with Wag 1 versus 4. He's trying to pop up behind Bullet, but I think he does. Bullet is facing the opposite way. He does have the opportunity, but as he takes the cam, it's all the warning that Bullet needs. He flips 180 and smashes the skull off Wag as he closes down the round, and that is going to be 5-1 on the half to MIBR, and they look electric right now. On fire is not the word for this team. They are purely and simply dangerous.
Oh, mate, they are giving it absolutely through and through. Every round has been going in their favour. Only 1 has been picked up by Santos so far. And talking of 1, this could be a 7-1 scoreline, unless Santos are able to completely flip it on its head now. This is looking very, very rough. MIBR popped onto the attack then. Let's see if they can continue on from where they left off. Quick switch coming in as well with a 6th pick off of the Twitch, and it seems like they are going to be going for the Capital pick, which I'm a fan of. I like the idea of it. You bring the speed, you bring the smokes, you bring the fire. There is a lot to that play.
Heading down to Church and Arsenal then. Santos have 2 options here. Now, given the lineup, we've got the Vigil, we've got the Mute, we've got the Mozzie. They are going to be going for what is known as the SSG top floor hold. Now, known as that because Space Station Gaming pretty much conceived this idea, developed it, and were the ones to show us the real success of it. And you may wonder why the top floor is so important against the basement objective, but it's all about time and effort. You cannot leave 3 roamers up on the top floor here because there is too much play has to go on for the attackers in the mid floor. So you need to get the hatches, you need to get some vertical control of site. They like to try and use the book to open up the corridor and the kitchen floor to get vertical angles down into site. And whilst all that is happening, if you've left those roamers on the top floor, they're just going to drop down the stairs. There's too many options for them to get on top of you and to start picking you off on the flanks. So that's why so much attention has to be paid to clearing out the top floor. But the intention here is to waste time, because for a bottom floor attack, you're already a little bit short of time. There is a lot to do in order to achieve a successful push onto Church and Arsenal. And when Cameraman comes in and hits you to begin with an opener onto Wag with a headshot, that is never going to help on the defence, because that is the sort of pressure the attackers need to be mounting. They need to get them cleared out quickly to give them enough time to aggress onto site.
It's a clean opening frag from the big cameraman himself. So fast, with such a big camera mount slapped on his chest. 5-1, just passing the 2-minute mark as time is ticking away, and for MIBR, they've netted themselves that first frag so early on, they don't feel the need to overstep the mark. They'll take it bit by bit, and cameraman keeps on going, getting a second frag. M-King goes down because of it. We return into a 3 versus 4. Pre-fire going out, expecting the cross from Mighty, but he just gambles. Doesn't go for the full peek, but he refaces it! Peeks in, giving Cyber another frag for free on the big buck. Cameraman with 3 frags in total into the round. Oh, Tim, He's shutting them all down. We might see the frag across back onto Bullet, of course, as he wasn't ready for that one. The Zofia been overthrown. Rise left in a 1 versus 3. Souls and Cyber, full HP, live in the limelight. Whereas Cameraman, he is quite low, but it shouldn't matter. They just have to play their cards correctly now, and they can walk away with this one. Final 60 seconds left. 1 smoke can remaining in reserve for Rise. One of them dashed out towards the dirt tunnel. That will start to fade now as the second is utilized as well. Cameraman making use of the new breaching device to open up the hatch so we can take a bit of a peek down and also drop a drone through it. As Rise will wait for the lurk, turns around as Cameraman's baited him out. And in the famous words of Shaggy, Tim, we caught it on camera.
3K from Cameraman, and he was certainly focused on only one thing during that round, and that was putting MIBR in a position to guarantee a draw as a minimum on Clubhouse. But right now it just seems like Santos have lost their way, Jackie. They just don't seem to have anything to respond with here. They don't seem to be able to get themselves back into the matchup, and this looks much more like the Santos that we saw against Team Liquid. But I think that is a positive comment towards MIBR, and that is my intention there. It's just how clinical they've been. They've just been on top of Santos, not giving them an inch to be able to think about what they're doing. Right up in their faces all the time, getting aggressive, and that's not something Santos really had to put up with from Furia. Furia, more objective-based generally, a little bit slower in terms of a team, and it's a different beast that they're fighting here.
Oh, a different beast entirely, mate. Beastly plays as well. Cameraman slaying everyone there. The wide-angle lens providing clear scope for 4 frags in the round. Bringing them up to a 7-3 split there on the score. Looking at the rest of the team as well, you can see the performance clearly mapped out. Bullet, 10-3. Cyber, 9-3. All of them playing very well. Great use of the breaching device as well to plague the mind of the opposition there, making them second-guess themselves as he just walks his way down the stairs and gets ready for combat. Now we're left in this position, 6-1. This game's pretty much over. It feels like this map has been put to bed. Santos really struggling to get this one off the ground, Tim.
Oh, I'd stake anything on it, Jackie. There's absolutely no way that MIBR don't come away with one more round here. Santos are, this is a 1,000,000-to-1 shot at this point, given, the state of play between the two and the gulf between these two teams, or certainly as it's appeared so far. I really can't see Santos getting themselves back. What they need to do is focus on that second map. We saw it against Team Liquid. They got rolled over on Theme Park. It was a tough start for them, but then they managed to come away and make a real game out of that second map, and Santos have got to be focusing on that at this point, so that it doesn't turn into a complete rollover over 2 maps. Just get in there, write this one off. It's a bad map. It happens. Move on to that second map and see what you can do.
Go again. Same play. Is it going to work out? Scardinia. Ooh, hitting the deck, trying to stay alive as the bullets are raining in all around him, Tim. It's like hailstones. They're bouncing off the walls, nearly smashing him in the face, but he's able to keep himself alive and kicking. Takes a bit of a glimpse over towards that hard reinforcement by the garage door, seeing the Stelma devices, bringing it all crumbling down. And crumbling away could be the outcome here for Santos if they do not win this round. Ooh, Tim. Garage control is going to be gone. Lickety split in a second. Look at the peek! Through the doorway, gets the face, shuts down the initial man as Jaeger's been overthrown. Bullets being thrown out from Scardina. Headshot connection there on M King to put him down. And they have to fight tooth for nail now. They're effectively left into a 4 versus 4 in this round. Mighty, there is no getting him back up. And there is no getting up for Wag either. Shot in the face by Cameraman. The wide swing once again from Scardina. Peak after peak. And he's making this round look peak. Peak timings for MIBR as it's down to a 3v3. There's potential for Santos.
Scardina doing great work up there on the catwalk until Bullet finally focuses in, as was necessary, and shuts him down. Takes the kill onto the downed Mighty as well. So we find ourselves in a quick swing of man count. 2-3 versus 2 now. This could be MIBR's moment now. The diffuser is down cold on the ground. 50 seconds. Bullet needs to be aware of that and maybe pop himself back downstairs to get that. Challenge comes in from the east wall, and Ash's life will be saved by bullets. Out comes a huge double nitro kill from Cyprus, though. Santos, that was the big moment they needed. The hero play to get another round on the board. Big moves. Could it finish the round? 1 versus 1. We find ourselves Cameraman versus Cyprus. Big work has been done so far by the Mute. We now find ourselves in a lull. As things go quiet, the dust settles from the Nitro. It's all down to this, and Cameraman can find the head of Cyprus. So unfortunate not to finish things off there. Comes out with that hero moment for Santos, but it is not sufficient. And MIBR, they are able once again to find a way in yet another round to close it out. Cameraman, he's had a great showing there and completely shuts that down. 7-1 for MIBR.
He's ruined them. He's ruined them on the end. He had the 4K round as well, playing tremendously well. The whole team shows up. The triple threat that we've spoken about multiple times have a hell of a game there and really do take him to the ringer. Unfortunately, in that last round as well, he made the right move. The big play with the 2K Nitro. It felt like there was an opportunity. The diffuser was down. I'm sure they must have seen it. They had close comms. Actually, you know what? To be fair, from that frag, it didn't move. So maybe they didn't actually know that it was still left out towards garage. That could have been the issue there on